Right. Okay, so apparently everybody's telling me I'm asleep. There's a 4-minute discrepancy between my phone and this computer, so that's why I'm running a little bit late here. Um, I'm on the old desktop computer, so I don't know if there's an echo. Go ahead and sound off if you hear echo or anything, or if you can hear the air conditioner going in the background. Um, give a few seconds for the chat to come up here. Yeah, if you watched the earlier little update that I did on the phone earlier, my laptop died. Um, it's fixable, but it's going to take a little while. Okay, Jeremy says there's a small echo. If I turn the sound down, if that'd help on there, don't need the sound on my end because I don't have anybody that I'm chatting with. So yeah, the laptop died. Something went wrong on the hard drive. It keeps trying to fix itself, but it doesn't do anything but say that it's trying to fix itself. So I looked it up online. It's fixable. Well, I got to get a new hard drive and a new operating system. That's all there is to it. But I can still go on and I can take the old hard drive out. I've got the adapter cable. I can plug it into a new computer or a different computer, and I can recover my files. So that's the good news. Bad news is it's going to take me a while before I can do that. And that was my computer that I edited on primarily, basically because it's got a i7 processor in it. And I can't complain about the computer dying. I got the thing for free because I bought it from a company on Amazon, and I bought it used for $400. And when it showed up, it was thinner than a doornail. I told the company about that, and they just gave me a refund and said, don't even bother sending us the computer because they weren't going to spend the money to fix it. So I dinked around with it. I took it to my IT guy, and he had it running in about 20 minutes, and it served me well for a couple of years. And hopefully when I get a new hard drive for it, it'll serve me well for several more to come because that computer's just awesome. But until then, I'm on the desktop, which the desktop does all right, but it's got an i5 processor. So if you use those, you that aren't computer savvy, i7 runs really fast, i5 runs okay. i3 is a piece of junk. That's usually what you get from Walmart. They're really slow when you try to do video editing. So when I was running on the computer that is right here, standing by the door, it's doorstop now. That computer had a processor that was a little bit slower than an i3. It's old enough; it was before the i3. And for me to render a video took hours. I'm talking 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. Yeah, sorry, I got my keys hung up on my belt. So when I finally upgraded to this computer that I'm on now, I think I spent $500 for it, just the tower. That's all I bought was a tower. I went to i5 and it went down to renders a video anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the length of the video. And then I got tired of having to sit in here and do the video, and so I wanted a laptop so I could do stuff while I was on the go. So I bought the laptop that had the i7. The only reason I got it, like I said, is $400. And it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to render a video. So I can do video production pretty fast on it. That's why I was able to get so far ahead when I did videos a couple of years ago. But anyway, we're making do. At least I've got this one. I can still do these little live chats. So hopefully, like I said, here in the very near future, we will get that up and running. So it looks like we just got Jeremy and his wife, and Hootie Hoo is eyeballing me. Hi, Hootie Hoo. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Niggy. Another guy sounded off when I started this earlier. Ray Land from Georgia. Ray, if you're still watching, hello. Um, so, Jeremy, is there still an echo there, or did that turn the volume down, solve it a little better? Okay, Jeremy says it sounds better. Must be a little bit of lag. Imagine that. So my phone is, and then my phone ran out of storage space too, so I stuck my SD card that I use for my aim cam. I got aim cam up and running again, by the way. I took the SD card and put in here. I can't even transfer the files. It's won't let me transfer the files. So I've not been having a very good week with technology this week. I'd send up smoke signals, but I don't know if you could all get them across the U.S. Okay, Thomas Pickering checking in from Calgary. Hello, Thomas. All right, so this one's a holster chat again. So, like everything, I always talk about the holsters, try to get the business going. I still got a few holsters left on eBay. So, the little announcement I did earlier today, I had the triple loop, a Walker, a 49 pocket, and a couple Slim Jims. The triple loop is sold in the last hour or hour and a half, whatever it's been. So I think I got 4 holsters left on there. I still got a Bohannon, but I got to relist it unless somebody wants to email me and buy it. Looks like people are starting to trickle in here. Jay Mitch is here. Jamie from Georgia. Hey, Jamie. So yeah. And if you've seen the Facebook post, I got another holster that we're going to announce, another style we're going to announce here. That kind of steps into turn of the century for a semi-auto. I got another holster. Yeah, that holster design. We'll show that off here in a minute. And currently, if you have a holster order with me, I'm in the process. I'm trying to get them done. Last week, I took a day last week, and I just worked on holsters all day. I had to modify some patterns to make some stuff, and modifying patterns takes forever. Sometimes I can get away with it pretty dadgum easy, pretty dadgum quick. And sometimes it takes over and over and over again to get it to work out. So I was modifying a current pattern for a shorter barrel gun. And then I had to make a new pattern, the one you're going to see here pretty quick. And then there's another pattern that I was trying to play around with for a shoulder holster that's a custom order. And I didn't get that down. I wound up just working on the rest of the holster. So if you got one ordered currently, with one exception, that's the shoulder holster order, I've got your holsters stitched, or excuse me, not stitched. I've got them ready to stitch. There's 2 problems. One of them, I screwed up when I was doing my decorative edge. I put a stitch groove around the edge on top of them as a decorative piece. I slipped when I was doing that and it went off the side, so it looks like crap. So I'm going to redo that. Got one, and I'm going to keep the screw up. And then another person ordered a triple loop. Jake, if you're watching, I think he said he was watching something with his wife tonight. But anyway, I was going to stamp Jake's with my maker's mark, and it was hot, so I just put on my lounging shorts around the house, and I had the dogs in. And I went to stamp that in my little German Shepherd mix, decided to stick her cold, wet nose right up the leg of my shorts about the time I swung down with the hammer, and I missed. And I screwed up, so I got to redo that one. Johnny, your holster is the one I screwed up on the decorative groove, so I'm going to redo it because I don't want to send you something that's messed up. But hopefully tomorrow, things I got the patterns done. It ain't going to take me very long. I can have them cut out. I can have them stitch grooved and ready to go. Punching the holes takes about as long as stitching it. But until I can get a sewing machine, it's going to be slow to do process. All right, we got quite a few people logging in now. Don't touch me, I'm crazy. Cheers from Lakewood. Hello. Garrett Wood says hello. All right. So when we get in, I'll give it a couple more minutes and I'll show you off the new one. So the new one was another. It's one I had to modify or make a pattern for, and it's going to get turned into another holster style too because the guy that ordered it said he didn't want this kind of style. He wanted a simpler version. So we're going to modify it. I'll have two patterns. Hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, I'll have another pattern for it. Sorry, I just got to read the things Jeremy said he's watching for the crazy ones. So I'll show that off here in a few minutes. Must be hot and I'm tired because I'm losing my train of thought pretty easy. It's only almost 9 o'clock here. All right, so before I show off the new holster, Gun Tank 214, what's up, Duke? Been a while. Hello. Yeah, so if you're just chiming in, Gun Tank, I'll just kind of update for those of you just coming in. Like I said earlier, laptop took a dump. I was actually gonna do a chat quite a few days ago, but the laptop took a dump. Hey, I got a super chat. Noah says, "Do you make holsters for a Ruger Old Army?" Yeah. I've got a pattern. I've got a pattern that I'm thinking is going to fit for Ruger. That's one of my orders currently is for the Ruger Old Army. Let me go grab that right quick. I'm going to shut the camera off. Let me go grab that and I'll bring it back. Okay. All right. So I brought a couple of the current ones that I'm in the process of trying to get done. So this one is being made for a customer for a Ruger Old Army, and I'm hoping it works. I don't have a Ruger Old Army. I don't know anybody close to me that has one, so I can't really fit it. But this one is a loop style holster, and I haven't got it stitched. I've just glued the pieces on here. I haven't stitched them yet, so I kind of gotta be a little delicate here. But it's a half flap. So the idea of the half flap, it'll keep the gun in the holster. This pattern might get modified later on too. It's still kind of in the prototype stage, but that one works. This one I think should fit. The biggest problem is going to be the sights. I don't know how the sights are going to react to the holster, and I think they should work okay. But in the event they don't, I'll have to make some modifications. But this style, I would think, should work. This works just fine for a Colt Single Action Army. And this is currently sold. I've got to package this up and get it to the post office tomorrow. This was the holster that sold on eBay just here shortly. That one should fit. And Jake, if you're watching, I don't know how well this will show up on this little webcam, but its stamp got screwed up on the maker's mark. That's another triple loop as well. So I'm going to start that one over again. And Johnny, you're still there. And I don't know, like I said, this is an older webcam, so I don't know how it's going to show, but I was running a stitch groove all the way around for decorative, just to kind of make it look a little nicer. And I ran off, Jesus, it's hard to see. I ran off the edge here, and it doesn't look very good, and it's right in a spot that's going to be visible. So I'm going to do yours again as well. I'll just keep this one for advertisement piece. And also the stamp on there kind of jumped on me. I got to get a dead blow hammer. Well, now it doesn't look so bad in the thing, but when you look at it close, you can see where the hammer bounced and jumped across. But either of those two, that triple loop or that half lap holster, I'm thinking they'll fit. And I said the one is going to be being made for a Ruger Old Army, but we'll find out here soon enough. And thank you for the tip. Well, it is greatly appreciated. All right. So I've delayed long enough. Let's show you what the new holster is. And I can't show you the particular item that it's made for. So I'll use the Airsoft version. Airsoft. It is a double loop pattern for 1911. Now this is the prototype. Then once in a while I get a prototype holster that turns out right the first time. This one was just about right. The only problem is the skirt hangs down here and kind of has a little bit of a floppy edge. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not, but if you look at some Old West photographs, you can see a lot of times these things are curled back because they're a little bit loose. But this is a new pattern that's available. It's a 1911 style. Now the 1911 here is actually the Commander. It's the little bitty short barreled son of a gun, so it only actually comes to here. This is designed, hopefully it'll fit a full size. It does have a toe plug in the bottom, and the toe plug is a double layer of 8-ounce leather, the same leather that's used for the body. So hopefully this pattern, I got to modify this pattern slightly for the customer that ordered this style because he didn't like the big loop. He wanted something that's going to go on the belt. So this is going to get modified, and I'll have another one available where it'll just be a piece that goes around on the back here and makes a simple loop. But that's a new style, and it is available for order. So for some of you guys that like shooting Wild Bunch, cowboy action styles, this would be something you might be interested in. The only thing, and I may have to modify this here in the future, is when you go to put the gun in, especially if it's fairly new, and I don't know if it's going to bottom out when you put a full size, but on this smaller, shorter barrel, if you don't have the safety on, have a cock lock safety on, when you slide it in there, the slide likes to come back because it hits the back sight hits the side of the holster here. But I'm hoping on a full size 1911, it'll actually set back just a little bit. But yeah, for those of you that are looking for a 1911, full-size 1911 holster, the style is available. And I think I'm going to be able to modify it even for these little short barrel guys. All right, I got to catch up on comments here because there's a bunch of them come in. Marlin 336 says bought a Slim Jim for an Army Navy, works great. I think you can do a triple loop for a Schofield. if I had access to a Schofield, the problem when I make holsters, I make them for a gun that I have, so I can draw the pattern, and then I can play around and make modifications if I need to. Um, so if I don't have the gun, it's hard for me to make a holster. I've gotten away with it on a couple others, and I'm hoping I'm going to get away with it on this Ruger Old Army here pretty soon. But yeah, I could probably do it if I could get access to one. Now there's a company that makes aluminum molds of those of different gun styles. I've been thinking about looking them up and trying to order one from them, so I don't have to go out and buy a gun just to make a holster for. But I'll let you folks know if I do that. If I get to making some for Schofield's, we'll announce it in the video. Or if I decide to bring down buy them, which probably ain't going to happen because I don't even think I'm going to be able to buy my duck hunting kayak this year. Noah says I'm running a 7.5-inch Rock Island Ruger Old Army with a rear ghost ring sight. Tell you what, Noah, if you send me an email at DukeFrazierProductions@gmail.com with a picture of that, I don't know why I'm playing with my alcohol here. I should be able to. I can get an idea if I can make something that'll fit. I'm going to type my email in here into the chat so y'all can make an order if you want to. All right, so email's there in the chat. And if you want to order holsters, that's the preferred method. You can also order them through me on Facebook on the Facebook page. I ask that you don't order them through my private Facebook page, just because I have so many chats going on private Facebook with friends and colleagues and such that it gets really hard for me to keep track of them there. But the absolute positively best way is through the email address, the Gmail address there. All right. Leverguns 50 says hello Leverguns. West Covina Dodge is in the house. Noah says will do, thanks. Perfect, Noah, and thank you again for the kind donation. Levergun says those type of holsters really hang tight to your side. Are you referring to the Mexican Loop 1911 or the one that has not the loops? It's just the belt style. My uncle, being that the guy that ordered this holster changed his mind, I gave this one to my uncle. It's actually his 1911 that's in it. He put it on the belt. He absolutely loves that thing. Because the holster he had before was a El Paso Saddlery pancake holster. He paid $100 for it, and I looked at it, and it's kind of junk if you ask me. For $100 anyway, it's more like a $40 holster. He loves this thing. He put his belt on it. He's got his mag pouch on it. He absolutely loves it. West Covina Dodge says, for Wild Bunch, you need a Star Model B. This is true. But for Wild Bunch cowboy action shooting, I've seen them use 1911s. But yeah, they a lot of it back in the day, they used a lot of Star Model Bs to take the place of 1911 for prop guns. And that's because at the time, and I don't know if that's still true or not, but a 1911 could not or cannot fire a blank and cycle. There wasn't or isn't a way to make it happen. I'm not sure if it can be done now, and if it can be, chime in. Feel free to add. But with a 9mm, it's pretty easy to adapt it to make it cycle on a blank. So a lot of movies, when they're wanting to use a 1911 for a shooting scene, they're using a Star Model B to run the 9mm blanks to get it to cycle. Pulp Fiction. They use the Star 9mm, and they're a cool gun. They're not currently made. They're a little harder to find. Once in a while, I see one pop up on Gunbroker, but at least I sure haven't seen very many. Uh, but yeah, they're cool guns. Trapper Paul says, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Trapper. How's your holster working? Okay, Johnny Petrie says, 2 questions. Where are you located and what link do you use to donate? So without giving out too much of my personal information, I'm down in the southeast corner of Colorado, about a 2-hour drive from the Kansas line, 3-hour drive from the Oklahoma line, and 2-hour drive from the New Mexico line. So I'm down here in the Little River Valley, where it's hot, dry, and I bought a fishing license this year, thinking I was going to do a lot of fishing, and now they're draining all the lakes. So that's, and then for the link to donate, if you go down to the bottom there, right below the where the side chat is, at least on my computer, I got a smiley face, and then there's a little money square with a money symbol in it. That's, they call it super chat, so that's how you donate to it. And apparently, from what I understand, until you get like $100 something, Google doesn't pay it out. So when you donate, it sits in a Google account until it gets to the limit that they will send you the money at. So, but yeah, that's where it's at on mine. I don't know if you're on a phone. If it's on a phone, it's probably different. Me and phones don't exactly get along very well. Trapper Paul says, love it. I need a right-hand Colt Scout Frontier holster. That's right. On the last chat, we talked about that. And I got to get over and get my dad's Heritage 22 because they're all about the same size. I was just down at a gun store today, and they had a bunch of 22 single actions from different companies, and they're all the same size. So I should be able to make a holster that would fit them all. Just tell me what the barrel length that you got is and work something out. But yeah, give me an email sometime, Trapper, and I'll get that made. And then on gun belts, I don't currently make gun belts. And I'm making holsters while I've got the leather for right now. I don't know when or if I'll be able to get any more leather in them. If I have to go the route that I'm thinking I'm going to have to go, the price of stuff is going to go up because the leather is going to get really spendy. So hopefully I can find a source of cheaper leather again. The stuff I've been getting is Argentina leather that was coming from Tandy that was like $40 for a double shoulder, and that is a lot of leather for a little amount of money. I can sell one holster and pay for the leather and then some. If I have to start buying the little higher grade leather, then it's going to go to, I'm going to have to go to buying a half a side at a time, and then it starts getting really spendy. I'd have to sell about 5 holsters. So I don't know. I've got leather for a good while yet, though. I've got, I don't know. I've got 5 or 6 double shoulders. So I can make them for a while, but eventually it's going to run out and I'm going to have to start buying. But when I do start getting the bigger pieces of leather, when I have to start buying them, I should be able to make belts in. All right. Kaido says hello. Howdy, Kaido. West Covina's got to bug out. We'll catch you on next time, West Covina. Jeremy says he's going to be making gun belts too, but it'd be in the $100 range. Yeah, it depends on the type of belt you want. If you wanted a simple strap belt, I could do that, no problem. If you wanted like a gun belt, they're a pain in the butt. At least the one I've been making for myself. I've been at it for 3 years and I still haven't got it done yet. Gun tank, he's got to bounce. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, in Virginia, it's already 11 o'clock. Jeez. So, all right. But yeah, let me go. I'm going to go grab that gun belt. I'll be right back. I'll show that off here. Whoops. Damn it. All right. So this is the gun belt that I've made, and I made this one out of a Vegetan belly because bellies are like $12 a piece, and it goes from about 12 ounce down to just 8 ounce on the other end, but it's fairly soft and pliable, so it makes an all right gun belt. I wish I'd taken the time and skived this end down to about the same thickness. But this is the only one that I've made so far. The other problem I had with it is when I made the loops, I had to splice 2 pieces together. Excuse me, 3 pieces. I had to splice 3 pieces because by the time you make them pull through loops like I did there and go through on the back side, a freaking double shoulder, and this is 4 to 6 ounce loops, a double shoulder that's wider than what I can show on the camera here. Doesn't take long for that to get used up. Most of my holsters will fit over with a gun in them. Will fit over belt loops on a belt. So I'll just show you right quick. I'll take the holster off. So there's belt loops that run pretty much from where the this part of the belt, whatever they call that, the part that locks in, I can't think of the name right now, goes all the way to the other side where the buckle connects in. I think it's 54 cartridges is what this will hold in. I've had it completely full, and I'll tell you what, this thing is heavy. But I've seen where some of these are stitched, like every one of them is stitched, and the guy told me you got to stitch every one of them, otherwise, they eventually pull loose. I've got these things so tight, I have to bend the belt like this to get the cartridges in and out. So if they stretch a little bit, I'm going to be all right with it. But I've spent a lot of time trying to decide if I wanted to put a liner on this, and I got to looking at some pictures, and there's pictures of these that don't have liners on them. So I don't think I'm going to put the liner in it. And I started off stitching every one of these, and I got that far before I kind of got frustrated with it because it was a real pain. I use what they call a pricking iron to poke the holes, or I used to. Now I've got a awl, so all I got to do is put the pricking iron and just kind of mark it a little bit, and then I can go in and poke the holes with my hand. Yeah, it takes a long time to stitch. This would probably take me, if I spent the time, it would probably take me 2 or 3 days to stitch that. because I just can't sit there and do it for 8 hours at a time. I'd have to break it down. Um, so hopefully in the days that I finally get a leather sewing machine, I will offer these. Or when I can get to where I can start buying bigger chunks of leather at a time, um, I'll start making belts. But for right now, I can't justify doing it. Oh crap! Gotta hit that. All right, but like I said, nice thing about it is, at least with this triple loop holster, it fits over the belt loops on that with a gun in it. And this is the only holster that I've got that I've made. This is the prototype. This is the very first prototype that turned out exactly perfect the first time around. I liked it so much I've kept it for myself, but this is what I carry my 73 single action in. And I absolutely love it. I love this holster. Kaido says nice and thick. Yeah. The only problem is you get to 12 ounce on some of that. God, that stuff can get really, really stiff. Excuse me, you like here? Wish we're getting late. I only napped for an hour and a half today. My day off. Yeah, I know a guy that tried to make one of those out of a piece of 13-ounce saddle skirting. That gun belt had no bend in it. Either there's a train coming or the wind's coming up. All right, so it looks like there's still about 13, 14, 15 of you on watching on here. Let's see, Kaido put up another one. Let's see, Duke talked to Hunter Holsters in Westminster, Valladolid, however you say that, as to leather sources, also Mexican, Brazilian, Argentine leather sources. The ones I was buying through Tandy, they were Argentine, and the price on them was pretty good. That's why I was buying it. The quality of the leather is all right. I mean, Colorado, okay, Westminster, Colorado. Yeah, that ain't too far from me. I had buying through them, and the leather was, it's not the best, but it ain't the worst. You put dye on it, you can't tell the difference between it and real high quality leather. But there's some leather out there, and we're talking big bucks that, oh my God, it's just the most beautiful leather in the world. But God, I hate to screw up on when I'm working with that leather. At least if I screw up on the holster here, I'm not losing a whole lot. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Argentine leather. It works. Now for tooling, I don't do tooling. I do border stamps, and that's about it. Me and tooling don't exactly get along all that well. I'm still practicing. I still try it, but I just it's not something I'm real good at. That, and I have a real hard time just sitting and doing the same thing for 3 or 4 hours at a time. I've got to get up and do something different. And tooling just, I don't know. I just can't sit and do tooling like most people can. Noah says, what type of tanning do you do? Personally, for me, tanning hides, the only tanning I do is I brain tan deer hides. And that in and of itself is a pain in the butt. As to the type of tan of leather I use for holsters, all I use is veg tan. It's the best. I don't use chrome tan. Chrome tan and metal, any metal. I don't care if it's copper, if it's iron, if it's steel, stainless steel. Chrome tan over a long period of time will cause corrosion. I know some higher end holster companies out there. They use chrome tan to line their holsters, and their reasoning behind that is sound. Yes, veg tan. This rough inner surface
is going to take the finish off of a gun. No doubt about it. Um, and some of these old West holsters were lined or to invent that. Uh, I choose to make mine more the simple man style. Um, but I won't line anything with chrome tan if I don't have to. Um, if somebody orders one and absolutely wants it lined with chrome tan, I'll do it. But if you're going to use this for long-term storage and you line it with chrome tan, you're just asking for trouble.
Little quick story on that. I work at a National Historic Site, and we've got stuff from the 1830s and 40s, and we have some Native American regalia, um, all reproduction, of course. And some of the stuff was made back in the 80s and the 90s, and brain tan leather is very expensive, so they made it out of chrome tan deer skins. And if you get the right color, you can make it look decent. If you get that bright yellow shit, it just looks like shit. So they had some of these Native American regalias stored in a box. And I'm going to sneeze here pretty quick. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, they had some of this native regalia stored in a box, and I mean one of those plastic Tupperware containers, the big ones. And they had all these leather pieces, mostly leggings, a couple war shirts stacked in there, and they put some of the brass decorative pieces. I'm gonna sneeze again. I know it. Oh, excuse me. So they had some brass pieces in there, like gorget, which was a trade item, some brass armbands, some other brass items, and they just laid them in there, in with the leather. And I imagine it had been stored in there probably sometime in the 90s. And I was going through some of the stuff to see what we had, because we had a change of staff. Some new folks come in and wanted kind of an inventory. And anyway, I opened up this box, and the brass that was laying against that chrome tan leather was corroded. It had ruined, well, it hadn't completely destroyed the brass, but it had ruined the leather, no doubt. It turned it greener and green. It had adhered to the brass from the corrosion. The brass we took out and was able to polish it back up with some Brasso. So when we put it back in there, the brass all went in a plastic bag. But the moral of the story is that the chrome tan long-term exposure to metal is going to cause issues. Because chrome tan they use, if I remember right, it's a type of acidic tanning process. So that's why I use veg tan. Veg tan is the same as bark tan for deer hides. So what they use is they use vegetable matter and tannic acid. They use tannic acid, which, well, it's an acid again, but I haven't had a gun rust up in a veg tan leather. But chrome tan, it's probably going to happen pretty quick. So anyway, a little extra side bit of information. But if you want to tan your own skins, veg tan is one of the easiest things. You just get some water and put a bunch of vegetable matter in there and let it soak for a while, and then you put your hide in there and let it soak for a while, and eventually it'll tan it. And that's where tanning comes in. You're chemically changing the hide to make leather. Whereas when I brain tan, that's not exactly tanning, that's dressing a hide. So it's still a natural piece of hide. The brain material has just allowed it to be soft when it's dry, and then you smoke it, and the smoke waterproofs it so that the brains don't wash out. Because once the brains wash out of rawhide, once the brains wash out of brain tan, it goes back to rawhide. All right. So that was my 5 minutes of Useless information. Right. So, other updates on there. Yeah, I was going to try to get into the shooting range here locally, but I'm waiting to do that until I get my first paycheck yet. And hopefully I can get up there. I've got to get my AR sighted in for coyote hunting. I need to fix it too. I need to put a different stock on it. Coyote, buy your own cow, slaughter it, and use the skin and the meat. I've been thinking about that, but considering that most ranchers around here are selling a cow for $3 to $4 a pound on the hoof, you buy 1,000-pound steer. That's $5,000. Gets pretty spendy. Noah, thank you again, Noah. That type of information is very interesting. Go ahead and highlight it here. Glad somebody enjoys the information I spew, but sometimes when I get to talking, and you probably noticed this in videos, this is why it takes me so long to film the video, is my brain outruns how fast I can talk. And a lot of times my when my brain outruns it, my brain crashes. And I've got to and I forget what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's why it takes me so long to do a video for the studio side. I might take 20 or 30 takes, but I'm surprised that didn't happen then. It's getting late at night for me. And I ain't had any of my jalapeno wine yet. Horse leather, Navy Arms had it years ago. Kaido Jama. I've never used horse leather, and to be honest, I've never seen it for sale listed. I've checked different tanneries. I've looked into them. I don't know if any of y'all watch Hank Strange on YouTube. I know there's some controversy with Hank Strange, but personally, I didn't watch Hank Strange because, he didn't have much to offer that other channels didn't. The one thing I do love about Hank Strange's channel is he does some videos for Andrew's Custom Leather. So I went on and I went to the site that Andrews mentioned about their leather, and that's some high dollar stuff. You start talking that oak veg tan or that old world veg tan stuff, that is high dollar leather, but it's good leather. God, I hate to spend that much money on leather. I'd have to sell lots of holsters to justify buying it. Jeremy Gunslinger says who? So Hank Strange on YouTube, if you check out his channel, like I said, there was some controversy with him a while back. He does videos for Andrews Custom Leather. And Sam Andrews, I don't know if Andrews got a YouTube page or not. I heard tell that they were going to. Let me look that up real quick. Whoops. I don't want that. I don't want that. Come on. In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, come on. What are you doing? Hurry up. God damn it. All right, that's enough of that. Let's see. Andrew's Custom Leather. Hey, they do have a YouTube page, and I subscribed. When did I subscribe? Okay, that's weird. Anyway, I will copy this link and I will put it into the chat. Okay, so this is Andrew's Custom Leather, and they make some good stuff. And then I'll find Hank Strange for those of you that aren't familiar.
Okay, so apparently Hank's had a few more videos on. Whoops. So I'll just put a link to this video, and then y'all can go look around a little bit. Then I'll get back to the chat page. Anyway, those are some links. Goes to Andrews and one of Hank's videos on Andrews Custom Leather. And Sam Andrews makes some good stuff. You're going to pay dearly for it, but he makes good stuff. And he's kind of the inspiration that I had to start making my own holsters. I watched the videos that Hank Strange had on him multiple times over. I watched those. And that's kind of how I learned how to do them. You know, pay attention to the edge bevel, make sure it's rounded. You know, basically take your time, make it look nice. And so that's when I bought. You know, I decided to go online. I tried to find kits, some gun kits to make holsters with, and that's what I did. I got a Walker kit that I never finished, and I got a couple pocket model kits that I bought on eBay. And after I put the kits together, I went and ordered some leather and ordered some leather tools, and the rest is history, as they say. And thanks to a friend and viewer, Buckskin Billy, I don't know if he watches these or not. He sent me some holsters. Also, speaking of Buckskin Billy, I've been meaning to do this too. I don't know how many of y'all are down from Louisiana, but keep an eye out. A friend of mine, Buckskin Billy, had guns stolen. His house was broken into, and he had like 10 guns stolen. So I'm going to share that. He's got the guns itemized. I'll try to remember to share that on my Facebook page. But any of y'all that can go and share that status when I get it up there, or if you keep an eye out and pass the information along. His guns got stolen. He's offering a $500 reward for the arrest of the person who done it and the recovery of his guns. You know, I wish times were better for me, and I would help offer to enlarge that reward. But pretty sad. He lost some guns that were very near and dear to him. You know, guns. When guns have a emotional attachment, you can never replace them. Put it that way. So, any other in the Louisiana area, or close to the Louisiana area, keep an eye out. One of my knows 1860 Henry, another was a Sharps, 51 Navies, I think a couple of his Walkers. But like I said, if I remember right, or if I remember to do it, I will share that on my Facebook page. Okay, sounds like Mr. and Mrs. Gunslinger are hitting the hay. Catch you guys later. Kaito says, check out Cork Leather. I'll have to do that. I don't know if I could share a link to that or not. Log on here. I'm going to try to do that while I'm on here. Oops. Maybe I can do it here. There we go. Okay, it's on my the Facebook page now. So yeah, if you go over check out the Facebook page, which I will. Put a link to right here. All right. So there's a link to the Facebook page. Go over. If you got Facebook, you can share that. If not, at least take a look at the list, and keep an eye out if you're from that area. Um, Also on the Facebook page, if you want to go over, scroll through, I have holsters for sale on eBay. There's just four of them left. I need to go in and delete the ones that are no longer available. But I've got the big Walker holster, 49 pocket model holster. Both of those are black, and two Slim Jim holsters, which I don't remember if they're right or left hand draw. One of them will fit an 1860 Army. I think both of them are left-hand cross draw. So if you want to do like a Hickok cavalry style draw, that's what they're for. Noah, night Noah. Catch you next time. I'll check for your email tomorrow, or whenever you get a chance to email me. Let's see. Go through the chat here. Yeah, and anything else, add on there. All right, so we've run the chat for just about an hour, depending on if you're looking at my phone or my computer. I think we'll run for another 15 minutes, and if things stay pretty quiet, we'll go ahead and shut it down for the night. Maybe I'll catch up with you next week. And hopefully in the next few weeks, because I've been at work for 2 weeks now. After Saturday, it'll be 2 weeks. But unfortunately, with the government, there's about a 2-week pay period delay or pay date delay. So I got to wait for another 2 weeks before I get a paycheck. But the nice thing about that is after I'm done for the season, I get a paycheck 2 weeks after I've been terminated. But hopefully things will get squared away here. All right. Nothing's popped up on the chat yet. All right. Jay Whiskey, caught you live, I see. Yeah, for a little while yet. Yeah, it looks like it's slowing down here a little bit. That's usually the way it works is it's on for an hour, and then about the time I get ready to start shutting it down, a bunch of people come in. Whoops. What do I get for playing things while I'm trying to do 2 things at once? Anyway, also, if you folks have any requests for videos, I will be glad to take it, man. What kind of? Okay, I thought I seen this one pop up earlier and I missed it. I want to highlight it now. So, what kind of 45 holster did William Holden as Pike wear in the Wild Bunch? It was a shoulder holster with a strap across the front. M7 wasn't invented yet. It's Hollywood, so it's hard to say. It might have been an M7, and Hollywood just used it because it looked cool. Let me look it up here. Let me look at it. Because I looked it up when I was trying to design that 1911 holster that I showed earlier, because the guy had mentioned that. Oh, hey, still in the search history. There we go. All right, let me look it up so I can see. And of course, Google doesn't get a very good picture of it. Jesus. Well, I'm getting good pictures of the strap going across his chest, but the holster I'm getting is the one on his side, which is drop leg, nowhere near appropriate for anything pre 1920. I'm not finding a very good picture of it, but what I can tell on there, it might just be a custom made piece. Finding all kinds of different old style holsters except for that one. Okay, there is an M7. And it looks to me like they just put him on with an M7. Maybe, yeah. Tell you what, before I say exactly what it is, I'm going to do a little more research and we'll get back to that. We'll come back to that topic in another chat. But yeah, I'm thinking it's probably an M7. I just used it. Remember, Hollywood does not follow history worth a crap. That's why John Wayne's using a Model 73 single action and a Model 292 Winchester and the Comancheros, along with all the other cowboys using the same guns. And it's supposed to take place in 1848, which is damn near 50 years before either one of those come out. 30 years before the 73 and 50 years before the 92. I know my math's a little off, but it's late. I can't think of math right now. Jay Whiskey, are you still making and selling holsters? Yep, that's what this whole chat's been about. So I'll show off one more time. This is the new style that's out. And it might be modified here slightly in the future, but it is 1911 style loop holster. And there are pictures of loop holsters just like this around the turn of the century. I found a picture of Seth Bullock with like 100 other people around him. And I got to zooming in because I was looking at the holsters. And they all look like they've pretty much all got on a double loop holster. And I zoomed in, and it was amazing. A good third of them are 1911s. Jay Whiskey. Hey, don't be sorry for coming in late, dude. That's fine. Not everybody can catch in on at the beginning. But the nice thing of it is once it's done and uploads, you can go back and watch it from the beginning if you so choose. Whoops. Damn it. I was going to highlight Kaidos, but I got to do it over on this side. Okay. Yeah. So what Kaido said, Tommy Woods are liars. There are very few movies that I've seen out there that Hollywood gets it right. I don't know why I'm playing with this alcohol again, but Hollywood screws up a lot of movies. They really do. Let's see. Fiddler. The 1911 holster is a belt holster. So this goes right on through belt. The shoulder holsters, I'm working on trying to get a shoulder holster for a 58 Remington, so I've not been doing much with shoulder holsters, but this one was just a simple belt rig. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to have a new pattern based right off of this one, and what it'll be is instead of having the big flap on the back, it's just going to come down. Basically, I'll just knock the flap off here, come down, and then I'll stitch it across, and then it'll take maybe a 2 to 3 inch belt. But my uncle, like I said, absolutely loves this. This is for a full-size 1911. He's got his commander size in it, and I think it works pretty good.
But he really soaked this thing in Neatsfoot oil because that stuff is all over on it. He must have done both sides of the leather. And just FYI, none of my holsters are wet molded because me and wet molding do not get along at all. That, and I don't want to have to get my guns wet to mold a holster to them. I tried one wet molded holster once and did its job. It held the gun very tightly, but it looked like shit. All right. Fiddler, I'm going to wait. Give me a second here. I see your comment popped up on the YouTube side, but I'm waiting for it to show up on the StreamYard or SteamYard or whatever it is. Before I address it, so I highlight it. There we go. Okay. So, the leather that I am sewing, unless it's a very heavy-duty machine, will not handle, your Singer will not handle this type of leather. The type of leather that most Singers will sew is like upholstery leather. So your chrome tans, your thinner chrome tans. I have successfully sewed chrome tan, double layer chrome tan on one. This veg tan stuff, very stiff, very dense, very thick. You're gonna break needles. That's why the sewing machine that I want to get is a Landis, which is nobody makes it. It's a very old saddles makers sewing machine, and what it does is it has a awl comes down from the top, and the needle comes up from the bottom, and it pokes the holes as it goes through, because the needle, if the needle was poking holes, would break the needle. This grade of leather that I'm using here is very, very thick. The way I do it now is by hand. I got a pricking iron, what some people call it. Some people call it a hole punch, a diamond punch. I use the 2-hole diamond punch. And once you place your first 2 holes, you take it out, and then you put 1 prong in the last hole. That way they're evenly spaced all the way along. And when you do it like that, it looks like it's sewed by a sewing machine. But that right there is all hand stitched. I did that all by hand. And it takes longer, yes. But with the sewing machines I have used, I found out that you could screw up a lot faster too. Fast doesn't always necessarily equal good. So I like going along with my hand stitching for now, but when the day comes, I'll eventually upgrade. And Tandy has some pretty decent leather stitching machines. It's just right now I don't make enough making holsters to justify buying one. $1,000 to $1,400 investment. I thought about buying a great big saddle stitching sewing machine from a company, but they're like $2,400 for the cheaper one. And the one I really wanted, I think, was in the $2,800 range. And like I said, I just don't make enough holsters to justify buying one of those. Thank you, Kaido. Greatly appreciate it. All right. So things are kind of quietening down. For some reason, I was thinking it was a Saturday night, but it's not. It's Thursday night. It's my Saturday. As I get Thursday, Fridays off from work. Okay. Plowboy showed up. I was just getting ready to start saying I was going to start shutting it down. Oh, that's great. Perfect timing, Plowboy. Oh, yeah, timing is everything. That is funny. So, for those of you that might be new here, go out and check out Plowboy's channel. He's got some great content too. In fact, Plowboy, you just did a video reviewing some holsters too. Somebody on here earlier was asking about a Schofield holster, and I think you had a video on the uh, Schofield holster here. Let me go look. At least I thought I remember seeing that. Well, that's going to make me go all the way around. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I don't remember who it was that had the asked about the Schofield holster, but I hate to give away good business, but it means I don't have a Schofield to make a holster. Um, Plowboy says the let's be getting late. Oklahoma Cheyenne works good. Yeah, Johnny Petrie has one on their Don Hume leather. Yeah, if I could get a Schofield, I'd love to buy a Schofield sometime, but it's just too expensive. Last time I looked at the gun store, I think it was used for $950. um. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to highlight there. That is very true. A lot of people will tell you do not um, store your gun in your holster. The holster is for carrying. That being said, a lot of what the action is with these Veg Tan holsters that I got, the action that's going to do the most wear is the taking in and out. Um, it's going to damage the bluing. Now, Parkerizing, different story. Um, that's a little bit tougher finish. Cerakote certainly is a durable finish. Um, but bluing, I don't know about stainless steel. Stainless steel should be fine on Veg Tan. Um, but yeah, bluing it's going to wear it out. I don't know. I've got my gun stuck in the homemade safe, so I don't know. I'll have to go dig them out. But a lot of times, what you're going to see on a revolver, the wear uh, on the bluing is you'll start seeing a kind of a little pinched out triangle on the sides of the barrel. The top sight's going to wear out. The ejector rod, you're going to have a streak on the side there where the bluing wears out, and then around the cylinder, it'll start wearing on the front. Um, that's usually where it wears out uh, with the leather holster. And it makes sense, most of the surfaces they're dragging on the leather when they go in, but it's the rubbing is what does it. Now, Chrome 10 is a little bit different. Chrome 10, that's going to be acid or whatever it is leaking out of the leather onto the holster. And on concealed carry holsters that you keep close to your body, your sweat is going to penetrate into that leather, and the salt will do damage. But that's going to build up over years of carrying. I try to make sure I get my holsters oiled. At least that kind of keeps if they get body sweat or whatever on them, The oil will help keep some of that stuff away. Um, yeah, Sakaido agrees. Long term storage is no, don't put it in a holster and stick it in the safe because not a good idea. But if you're gonna go out for a stroll, that ain't gonna hurt. I like this one. I recently sold my um, Smith and Wesson SD40. I currently don't have a semi-automatic hand. Well, I do. I do. I take that back. I do have a semi-automatic handgun, but I don't have a small semi-automatic handgun anymore because my 40 just got to where it wouldn't cycle. Um, I always dry fire practice a lot in the house, and firing pin slowly edged away and pushed a dimple up on where the firing pin hole was at on the frame. So the gun got to where it quit cycling. I just wasn't happy with it, so I got it to where it worked again, and then I sold it. So I went to a 38 revolver. I bought a Taurus 38 Special, and I think it's Taurus 605. I don't remember. Anyway, or 506 or whatever the damn thing is. That's what I've been carrying. I haven't shot the thing yet because I haven't been able to get to the shooting range, but I'm very impressed. I never really thought I'd care for a double action revolver. But that little one, I like it. I like it a lot. Deputy Dan. I used to carry a black powder, but the pain in the butt is with the black powder is once you load it, the only way to unload it is to shoot it. And I don't know. I don't like counting on a black powder gun for self-defense. If you do that, that's cool. Whatever you do, that's fine if it works for you. For me, just don't work. That's why I've got a couple cartridge guns around because I don't want to rely on the 1860s. As a history buff, and I read stories and ordnance letters and stuff, when you realize what can go wrong with these and what did go wrong in battle, it's not a chance I want to take. But I'm not going to tell anybody not to do that. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. Whatever works for you. But for me, I use them for videos and plinking and fun. And worst case scenario, I could use them for self defense. But as a general rule of thumb, I do. Kaido, yeah, nylon holsters are okay. I used to have a nylon holster for that old Smith and Wesson, and that's what it stayed in all the time. Until I went to pull it out one night, and I couldn't get it out of that freaking nylon holster because I couldn't see get the snap to come undone. Okay. Fiddler had a good one. So the Western holster that you see in Hollywood, the drop leg that is tied into the holster that doesn't move around, is completely wrong. This is the type of holster that you would see in the late 1870s on up until the 1900s. Although by the early 1900s, they're starting to come out with a little bit different patterns, different styles. But this right here is the most common you would see, this style. Mexican loop slides over the belt, worn up fairly high. The whole gunfighter, hold it down so it's closer to your hand so you can quick draw at high noon when the clock strikes 3. That doesn't work. That never happened. The one gunfight that I know of documented, and I'm sure there's a few others, that went off between Bill Hickok and David Tutt. That wasn't quick draw. They just Tutt started shooting and Hickok drew just fast enough to match him. But the whole drop leg stuff, that's false. Let's see. Deputy Dan, yeah, you use a ball puller, but then you're in the ball and then you got to melt it down and do it over again. But yeah, yeah, there's a reason you got the antiques. That's right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see that video. I'm going to guess it's probably going to go off, Plowboy. But I wouldn't be surprised if you had a couple that took 2 caps to do. But let's see here. Kaido, when that happens, I'm going to be impressed. That's going to be a fun gun to see. 55 caliber revolver. That's going to be a true hand cannon. Yeah, Deputy Dan, 1950s Hollywood. You start seeing those drop legs show up about 1920, 1925, Roy Rogers era. And they got blown way out of proportion. Nowadays, when you see the newer Westerns a little bit better, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, they had a lot of good holsters in that that were good accurate. They had some that weren't so much. But the movies are getting better about that. Garrett Woods, yes, Shane does say that. And that's all fine and dandy until you have a 7.5-inch barrel single action Army, and then you're way up here when you're trying to pull it out. And a Walker, I tell you what, I tried carrying a Walker Josie Wales style. That don't work. Augustus McCrae style works. Deputy Dan, what did I think of True Grit? I thought I was impressed with the cinematography. I was not so much impressed with the acting. I think Jeff Daniels, who the hell played Cogburn in that one? What's his name? Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges, I think he went on the screen trying to play John Wayne, and I don't think he pulled it off. Maddie Ross, she was okay. Matt Damon as the Texan, I think he's all right for the character, but he could have done something different with the character. I just didn't like how he portrayed the guy. But, of course, Glenn Campbell, I wasn't real impressed with his acting either, although he did a fairly good job. The actor that I thought did the absolute best and should have got an Oscar nomination or gotten an Oscar was Barry Pepper. Barry Pepper as Lucky Ned Pepper was a scary thing in a good way. I thought he played that character well. He did better than Robert Duvall. And Robert Duvall, I thought, did good as the original. Josh Brolin, yeah, he did all right as Tom Chaney, I thought anyway. But no, Barry Pepper as Ned Pepper, that was the best acting in the whole movie. And the guy that played the horse trader, the original guy, you can't get any better scene than him and Maddie going back and forth. That one just can't be beat. But the cinematography, I thought it was great. The shooting, the light, the history was historical accuracy of saddles and such was a lot better. And I think he did have 2 Navy 6s when he was charging at them boys. But yeah, overall, it's a good movie. It's just not as good as the original. I'll say that. All right, so Fiddler's got another good question. And I gotta find a bullet. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, that's a 45 Colt. All right. Give me just a second here. Okay, so these ones are all for pistol rounds. For 45 Colt, here's a 45 Colt dummy round that I was using to set up a reloader. So this one slides right in. And, I've got them set to where they just barely stick out the bottom. And the reason I did that is when they barely stick out the bottom, it's harder for them to get pushed out. As for coming out, though, when I got the belt bent like this, they slide pretty easy. But when I straighten it out, they do not move. So, God, that even locked in there that way too. So it's got to be like that to relieve the pressure. When I built this, I built it so when I'm wearing it, these are tight and they do not fall out. And when it's straight, it's even hard to get in that way. So no, I don't worry about them sliding out. And I didn't measure off an original. I just kind of took the idea. This one's not a copy of anything in particular. So I don't know if the belt loops, I haven't really looked too much at the belt loops on them. They'd be the full length. I know there's some of them that there's a Jesse James rig I seen where everything's covered and these things are closed on the bottom. So how you get the bullets in and out, you get them in easy, but how you get them out, I don't know. But yes, that's that large, that would be historically acceptable. Yeah, 55, that'd be the biggest caliber black powder handgun. I don't know, was it more potent than a Walker? If it was, then the Walker loses its place as the most powerful handgun to a 357. Okay, this thing keeps jumping around on me, so I'm losing my place here. Okay, so I just bought a Pieta 1860 Army, and already the cylinder won't spin freely. I'm going to guess your bolt or your trigger's out of time. The only person I know that I really recommend there's two. There's Goons Gunworks, and he's backdated for a long time. And then there's Tom Sargis in Montana. I don't know how backlogged he is, but either way, you're going to have to spend some money if they go to fix it. The only thing with local gunsmiths is if you run into the problem that I've got here, my local gunsmiths know how to fix an AR and an AK. You hand them a revolver and they look at you like they got two heads, especially if it's a single action old black powder gun. So,
without having it in front of me, look at it, I can't diagnose it. So if I was to guess, you're probably either got a trigger problem or you got a bolt problem. Um, when you go to bring it to half cock, um, try moving the trigger slightly back past the half cock notch and see if it frees up. If that's the case, then your trigger's too short. You need a new trigger put in. Yes, that carrying it that style is typical of the mounted troops, cavalry, however you pronounce it. Everybody gives me shit for how I pronounce it, but because mounted troops in the Civil War, you had the saber on the left hand side, and the excuse me, I got that backwards from what you said. Must be getting tired of reading things wrong. So cross draw, you're talking about cross draw there, where the gun's carried on the left but forward. That makes it a lot easier to get on a horse. And then you've got the cavalry style, which is you swap it around, the pistol's butt forward on the right side, and you do what they call the cavalry draw, where your hand goes down like this, grabs the gun, then turns up. If you look up, I got a video on historical carry methods, which is a little outdated. I need to redo it. You can see some of the carry methods that I got, but yeah, cross draw carry is very historically accurate, especially when you're in the Captain Ball era and transitioning to the the cartridge era. But like I said, a lot easier to get on and off a horse and draw the gun while you're on a horse when you carry it that fashion, like we do once and stuff. All right, so the SteamYard chat is way behind from the YouTube chat, so um, if I'm way behind on you guys, I apologize. Yeah, so Dylan, all these guys have got good advice. I would check with Pieta and see if they could swap it out for you. Yeah, sometimes it's better, especially if you if you're not mechanically inclined, or you're like me and you fumble a lot. Sometimes it's best to send it back. But when I was in college and I got to shoot them guns, I could use my beer money to buy the gun, but I didn't have any money to have somebody else fix it for me, so I learned pretty quick how to do that on my own. And once you get high six shooter, once you get after you do it so many times, it's just like doing anything else. But that initial time's a little scary. And if you don't know what you're doing when you're timing it, you can screw a gun up. Oh my God, you can screw one up fast. The important thing you got to remember is on the timing is that the barrel and the cylinder need to line up before you fire it, because if they don't line up and you fire it, bad things can happen. All right. So I'm going to call it here at, we'll go to 10:15. We'll give it another 15 minutes anyway. So give it 15 more minutes and I'm shutting it off. I'm getting tired. I'm starting to ramble. I'm starting to lose track of what I'm talking about. Yeah, six shooters got some. I had one. Duelist 1954, Mike Bellevue. I think it's Duelist Den now. Um, he's got some good videos on that, fixing it. Ooh, Obidex. That might be something worth trying. Um, hopefully, one of these days when I get back out and start shooting again. But I told myself I was going to spend more time fishing this year, and shit, the time I work with the thunderstorms we've been having around. So why is this guy showing up on my cell? That's it. He's not showing up. So yeah, I was talking about fishing. We're kind of in a drought now. We had some good thunderstorms come in, but we've been getting thunderheads building every day for the last couple of weeks. But they're dry. But you get enough wind and stuff. And with a fishing rod on a lake that I fish at, and that's the tallest thing around, I haven't been fishing like I've been going to. So. See, Kaido says Obidex is supposed to be faster than Swiss black powder. Yeah, it'll be interesting to try that Obidex when it gets here. If I can find it and if it's affordable. Right now I'm still sitting on 5 pounds of, no, take that back. 10, sitting on about 6 or 7 pounds of GoEx that I just haven't been shooting. Need to get back out the range. I got to burn powder again. Casting lead. Hey, casting lead here. Yeah, he says he hopes it gets to the U.S. soon. There's a lot of powders I've been meaning to try. I was going to try Schutzen. I was going to try Graf's Home Blend, which I found out later is Schutzen. I've been wanting to try some Old Langsford. I've tried Swiss. I ain't impressed with Swiss. I had a problem with Swiss. It seems like when the static electricity and the air was up, that stuff just kind of floated. And I don't know if anybody else has had that problem before or not, but I remember one day, it was a day that we had a lot of static in the air. I tried loading my 50 caliber Hawken, and I had a powder measure full of Swiss, and I went to turn up to that barrel, and it just like it went past the muzzle, around the edge, and then just fell down the side. That was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. So Casting Lead asks, what's my favorite powder? GoEx. It's the one I use the most. Like I said, I got a pound or two of Swiss sitting over on the counter, and I just don't shoot anymore. I even tried it in Sharps, and I didn't like how it performed. It didn't perform near as good as GoEx. But GoEx is the go-to. Like I said, I wanted to try some of the Schutzen or the Graf's Home Blend, but when I ordered powder at the time, they was all out of those, so I just ordered 10 pounds of GoEx. Yeah, Kick is out of business. I never got a chance to. I had a chance to buy some elephant powder one time. I guess it's out of business now too. But nowadays, most of my powder reserve in the house is made up of smokeless. I bought a bunch of smokeless when I got my stimulus check. Got it while I could get it. What's funny is I bought it online at an inflated rate, and then I had to pay the hazmat shipping and handling. And then I went to a local gun store, and they had the exact same powders I bought for less than what I paid for online. And I could have saved myself a lot on the shipping. But I'm stuck with it now, so hopefully when I get some rounds reloaded and get out to the range, we'll try some of them out. All right, Kaido says that Obidex has a Facebook page, so I'm going to go check that out. Oh, Kaido, I'm not seeing the Obidex black powder. I'm getting Black Lives Matter. That's not what I was looking for, but okay. No, I said Black Lives Matter. They're probably going to demonetize and take down my page. All right, guys. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes here, and then we're going to shut her down. So I got a bunch of. So hopefully here in the coming months, and I may put this off until temperatures cool down because it's already, we're already in the hundreds here. We're getting close to hitting the hundreds here in Colorado. I think it's supposed to be 103 tomorrow, and it's just first week of June. But hopefully here I'm going to get out to the range. I'm going to revisit some videos that didn't work out like they should have. I rushed them. We're going to redo the ballistics tests on the Arizgon bullets, as well as tests on Kaido's bullets as well. Because Kaido sent me bullets. What's it been now, Kaido? 2 years? And I still haven't tested them. They're still sitting on my shelf just waiting to be shot. So hopefully we'll get that done. I want to do videos. I said this 2 years ago too. I wanted to do some milsurp videos, and I never got that done. Providing I can even find ammo for that 6.5 Carcano. And it's just going to be kind of a wait and see how things go game. Because I'm also going to try to spend time. I still want to start a new channel for hunting and fishing stuff. So I'm going to try to focus on that too. Things I got nieces, more times getting dedicated to the family, but I'm going to try to get back out and do some more videos yet. Plowboys Go says he hasn't tried Arizgon's bullets yet. They're good stuff. You're shooting the 36. I highly recommend the Colt Cartridge Works bullet. I put that through my Uberti 51 Navy, and that bullet performed extremely well. I haven't tried that one in the 61 Navy yet. At least I don't remember trying it in that one. But yeah, the 51 Navy loved that bullet. I mean, it shot a really good group at 15 yards. The Johnson & Dows in my 1860, they don't quite, the loading lever or something doesn't quite hit square, so they kind of get pushed in a little bit cockeyed. They still do fairly well. Hard hitting bullet. But the 36, I love the 36s. And Mark Hubbs, he's the proprietor at Arizgon, that's got a new one, a Kerr bullet, which
I missed the advertising for earlier in the year, and he sold out before I realized he had them. Now he's got them back in stock again, but I'm still waiting for a paycheck to come in before I can buy stuff. So I'm hoping when I get my first paycheck in, I can buy a mold from him. And then there's another mold I've got my eye on too, for a 45 Colt. That one's going to be a little bit further down the road. That's a pretty expensive mold. It's $75 just for the mold body, and then I got to spend another $75 for the handles. Kaido tries using 777. I would, but I can't get 777 locally anymore, and I'd have to buy it. So, if I can find some close by, I'll try that. I think I'll try my Pieta gun. That way, if I screw up, I don't shoot up my gig or screw up my gig and birdie. Okay. Apparently, that's the ones for Obidex powder, NSM guns ammo. Okay, so my computer shows that it's 10:15. Okay, I got one more question from Fiddler. Do you think Uberti or Pieta is better? Don't want to get one that won't work right out of the box. Uberti has better looks. Pieta has better function, but you can get lemons with either one, so it's going to be, luck of the draw. I bought a lot of my guns through Midway, and most of them work good. The ones I've gotten through Dixie, most of them had problems. And I don't know if it's luck of the draw or what, but most of them I buy are through Midway USA. But as to which ones are going to work and which one don't, I don't know. I've had to rebuild a Pieta right out of the box. I've had to rebuild a Uberti right out of the box. So it's hit and miss. But if you're looking for something that you're going to shoot for a long time and you don't care if it's got ugly modern markings on it, it says made in Italy on the side of the barrel, buy the Pieta. If you want something that's a little more historically accurate in appearance, buy the Uberti. But I will tell you, Pieta does a little bit better job making your internal parts. Uberti uses softer steel and they wear out pretty fast. All right. Casting Lead has one here. There we go. We're great right out of the box, 36 cal. Now, Kaido says here that Pieta has lesser cap sucking than Uberti. I had the exact opposite. My Pieta, I had to put slick shot nipples in to get the cap sucking to quit. And my Pieta 1860, I've had a few cap sucking problems, but then I polished the face and I've not had any, the face of the hammer, and I've not had a problem since. So I think that's another one of those, luck of the draw things. No, I've never done one of the kits, but one thing I've noticed with kit guns from other people that build them, kit guns are guns that didn't meet the manufacturing standards to be sold regularly. So instead of melting the stuff down and redoing it, they sell it as a kit. All right, folks, I'm going to sign off. Any more questions, comments you got, leave them down in the comment section when the video posts, and I'll try to remember to answer them. But until next time, have a good one.